He'll deserve.
Mac Jones is still getting pushback from this tackle on Carolina's Brian Burns. It would appear this feud, gentlemen, is far from over. Wiggins and the Warriors were dunking to a 10-1 record last night. Should Golden State be the favorites now to win it all? And boom, we got Coach Mangini joining us later to break down his game plan for the Raiders to upset the Chiefs. The Chiefs, Nick, the Chiefs. And with that, we say good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. I'm Jenna Wolf alongside Nick Wright, Kevin Wilds, and filling in for Chris Broussard. We got Mark Schlereth with us this morning. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. And we want to say on behalf of everyone here in First Things First, we want to start off this Veterans Day show by thanking all of the brave men and women who have served our country, both past and present. That most importantly, of course. We have a great show for you this morning. We have so much to get to. We're going to start with the most anticipated free agent signing in the NFL, none other than OBJ. Here we go. As of this morning, Odell Beckham Jr. still a man without a team, but plenty of teams are calling. The latest reports say, here we go, the Kansas City Chiefs are the perceived favorite to land OBJ, while the Patriots are also making a strong push, with Belichick reportedly wanting Beckham on the roster, quote, badly, Wilds, badly. You know what happens when Billy wants something badly. But, Nick, this seems like a biased take incoming. What is the better landing spot for Odell, Chiefs or Patriots?
There's no biased take, Jenna. The only hint of bias that's happened thus far in this show was calling what Mac Jones did a tackle. You can only tackle the person with the football, for the record. Brian Burns, he can't be tackled, but we will get to that in about 18 minutes from now. I am always dripping in objectivity, Ms. Wolf, and I'm here to tell you, obviously the Chiefs are the best option. Because so Odell can go somewhere where the coach is awesome, quarterback's awesome. He'll get credit if and when they turn this thing around, because the offense has struggled the last few weeks. You know that's something that matters to him. He'll never get double-teamed, ever. As long as Tyreek Hill's there, Travis Kelce's there, he'll never get double-teamed. He'll have a chance to win playoff games and win championships. And, oh, yeah, by the way, they have a desperate need at the exact position he would be playing. It wouldn't be temporary. So why would he not pick the Chiefs? And I will add this, Stink. I think it's really bad for Odell's chances to land with the Patriots that there are all these Patriot reports coming out, because they ain't leaking out in New England. And if I know anything about how Bill Belichick and the Pats run things, they don't love when their plans get leaked, because they're not the ones doing the leaking. So whoever said Bill Belichick desperately wants Odell Beckham Jr., one would think that would make Bill Belichick, the fact that it's out there, if it was true, want him less. But if it's between these two teams, what is the argument to not pick Kansas City?
Well, I mean, I think there's several arguments not to pick Kansas City. I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are bereft of weapons. You know, like another mouth to feed in Kansas City when you have an offense that
That's right.
you don't want to do anything but throw the ball down the football field. You've made mistakes. Kansas City problem isn't talent or depth of talent on the offensive side. And, you know, the one thing that I'll give you credit for is I do think Odell Beckham Jr. is a better fit from the standpoint of he's got a dominant figure within that franchise, that dominant figure being Patrick Mahomes. Nobody's going to trump the authority of Patrick Mahomes on that offense. So he's going to have to fall into line to some degree there. But I think when you look at the Patriots, desperate need from a talent upgrade with Aguilar, with Jacoby Myers, with Kendrick Bourne. You know, he comes right in and becomes receiver number one. He becomes the X on the single receiver side. He becomes the go-to guy within that offense. And I will tell you this, that the Bill Belichick era and the Patriots have had a history of taking guys that were perceived as malcontents elsewhere, bringing them into the fold and having just an absolute ton of success with those guys and winning championships with those guys. So I would say that I think that the Patriots are probably a better fit for Odell Beckham than are the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
Thank you, Stink. I didn't know if there was something wrong with my earpiece. I don't know if that was a take or just beautiful music being pumped into my brain, but it was wonderful either way. So here's the thing. There's two narratives out there, two images of the Chiefs and the Patriots that are vastly different, right? So the Chiefs are this fun-loving team. Patrick Mahomes is throwing the ball all over the place. Andy Reid's wearing Hawaiian shirts. It's a fun place to be. And then you go up to cold New England, and Belichick is wearing a hooded sweatshirt, and it's all about winning, and it's not fun. And we don't have Patrick Mahomes, a young GOAT. We just have the future little GOAT, GOAT Jr., Mac Jones. But here's the thing. These teams are very, very similar, that if you can't help them win, they're not going to use you. So the Patriots make that very clear. We're about winning. The Chiefs don't. Chiefs celebrate every free agency signing, and then guess what happens? Nothing. Remember Josh Gordon? Josh Gordon could pick where he wanted to go. Oh, you know where I'll go? The Chiefs. Anyone heard from Josh Gordon? I haven't. He's been on the roster since week 5. He has 1 catch. Oh, well, maybe he's not out there. No. He played 32 snaps against the Giants. Nothing happened. Oh, maybe that's just Josh Gordon. Maybe he's getting his sea legs under him. All right, how about Le'Veon Bell? Remember Le'Veon Bell? Oh, the rich get richer. Le'Veon Bell tweeted this. Kansas City, thank you for the opportunity. Let's go. What happened there? Played 9 games. Had 350 total yards from scrimmage. Then we get this. Le'Veon Bell on Chiefs stint. I'll never play for Andy Reid again. I'd retire first. So look, everyone thinks that Bill Belichick is this curmudgeon and that Kansas City is this wonderful place for offensive players to go. Maybe it's not. It didn't work for Le'Veon Bell. It's not working for Josh Gordon. And, Nick, it's no guarantee it's going to work for Odell.
Okay, so I just have a few direct questions for Kevin Wildes. Did Josh Gordon thrive fruitfully when he was in New England? Did I miss that? Did I miss the great Josh Gordon?
No, he would have.
Tell me. Oh, he would have.
He would have.
Oh, okay. All right, got it.
Yes. We know Josh Gordon has some issues, but the Patriots support him as best as they could. But when he was on the field, he was a nice weapon.
When he was there,
act like, you're going to get 50 targets a game.
He was younger and more able to help a team, and it still was mediocre production. That's the first point. Second point is, are you actually making the case that the entire football world has just had the wool pulled over their eyes, that playing in New England is just a barrel of laughs all the time? That we've just been wrong for 20 years? Like that? I'm just curious. I'm asking.
Well, listen.
Tell me.
Well, sure. If Odell Beckham wants to go have fun and have a barrel of laughs, there's a comedy club about 30 miles west of Foxborough he can go to. If he wants to win games and be coached by the greatest coach in the history of sports, then go the other way and show up at Foxborough. But we're not here for laughter. We're not here for fun. We're not here for Hawaiian shirts.
Okay.
We're here to win football games.
Well, that's fine. But
if you want to come in and win, come to Foxborough.
That's fine. But then,
if you don't, go somewhere else.
That's good. I would then recommend that the Patriots prove they actually can win football games post-Tom Brady. Because post-Tom Brady, they're a losing franchise that struggles on the offensive side of the ball. They just are. They're 5-4 this year. The last year counts as well. And so here would be, I guess, my question to Stink on this, which is that's fine if maybe Odell does look at Mac Jones as the baby goat or how Wildes put him, but hasn't Odell had the experience of being the #1 option on a run-centric team with a limited quarterback? Did he seem to enjoy that experience? He just forced his way out of that exact experience. Why would he sign up for that again, Stink?
Well, I mean, again, here's the problem that I guess we're skirting. And, Odell Beckham Jr., for me, you've also got to assess your value to your football team. And I don't know about you guys, but Odell hasn't been productive in a couple of years. And you can point the finger to, quarterbacking. You can point the finger to situations. You can put, like the bottom line is he needs to start pulling the thumb and look at himself. And do you want to win football games or do you want to be a superstar? And that's the question I would have. I mean, I would have a real problem signing him in the first place. And, you talk about wide receiver position, and somehow we've made the wide receiver position the end-all, be-all. You are in my mind, you are, the most dependent player in a dependent game, right? We're all dependent players, but you're the most. 10 other guys have to do their job exceptionally well for you to even get a sniff of the football, for you to make an impact in the game. So quit overvaluing yourself and understand that it is a team game. And, you're going to force your way out of there. What happens when you're not happy in Kansas City? What happens when you're not happy, in New England? The bottom line is, I wouldn't touch Odell Beckham Jr. I don't think he's worth going after, personally, because I just think he's a problem. And I don't think he plays team football. So me personally, I wouldn't want him on my football team. That's where I stand. And until he proves otherwise, until he proves he can be a team player, then that's a different story. Now,